Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is my guide on Invention Perks after the mining and smithing rework, talking about the perk changes and how they now work. So let's get right into this video. Starting off with the mining perks. We have honed 1 to 5. Hone now gives a +2, 4, 6, 8 or 10% chance to double your ore. This doesn't give you any bonus experience anymore, it just has a chance of giving you extra money. So obviously if you have honed 1 you're going to get 2%, and if you have honed 5 you can have 10% of that double ore chance. How do you obtain it? Well, it's very simple. You can use 5 sharp components and that can get you anywhere between 1 and 5. If you're going for honed 5 it is best to use silent components though, and it's better to try for honed 5 at the higher levels and maybe stick to honed 4 when you're a lower invention level. You can use 4 to 5 silent components and that will get you anywhere from honed 2 to 5, and it has a better chance at getting honed 5 than sharp. Next up, probably my favourite perk because it's the only one that increases XP when it comes to mining now, and that's Furnace 1 to 3. Furnace works in a very similar way to what it used to, but it now gives a +5, 10 or 15% chance per swing to generate no progress but double XP. Because mining XP works different now and you get experience per swing depending on how hard you hit, this perk has been updated to suit that. How do you obtain this perk? You can use sharp components and that has a chance of getting Furnace 1 or 2. Imbued has a chance of getting Furnace 1 to 3, but 3 is super rare here. My favourite is Dragonfire components. They're quite costly, but they have a high chance of giving you Furnace 3 as it can only give you Furnace 2 or 3. The next perk I want to talk about is Refined 1 to 3. This now gives a +2, 4 or 6% chance to your geodes. For example, if you have Refined 2, you'll have an extra 4% geode chance. You can use 5 Resilient components, which gives you Refined 2 to 3. This is a very good chance of getting Refined 3. If you want to go a bit more budget and you don't really care about Refined 3, you can use 5 Enhancing components to get Refined 1 or 2. Next up we have Polishing 1 to 3. This only works on core rocks, silver ore and sea salt. What do I mean by core rocks? I mean it works on the core tier rocks. So this means it works on things like Animica, Runite, Bainite, stuff like that, but it won't work on corrupted ore from Seren stones, and it won't work on anything like sandstone, etc. And what polishing does is it increases the tier of the ore that you mine. So if you mine a tier 80 Bainite rock, you can get a tier 90 Animica rock from that. And if you get a proc from a stone spirit or something like that to give you an additional ore, that will also be upgraded via this perk. To get the best chance of polishing 2 to 3, you want to use oceanic components. They are a very high chance at polishing 3, to be honest. If you want to go on a more budget route, you have 5 dexterous or 5 protective components that can give you anywhere between 1 to 3 polishing at a slightly less rate. Now looking into the smithing perks. The first smithing perk I want to talk about is Tinker 1 to 3. This now has a 2, 4 or 6% chance of making double progress when smithing. What do I mean by double progress? Well, you have a progress bar above your head, right? Well, if you have Tinker, you can make double progress, which will give you double experience for that hit. Again, the higher tier, the higher percent chance of this proccing. So say I was getting 150 experience for making an item every hit. If Tinker procs, I'll get 300 experience for that hit. It will also make it quicker to make that item. How do you obtain this perk? 5 Clockwork components is the best way to get Tinker free. I got it on my first try with 5 Clockwork and it's super easy with those. Although it is a little bit cheaper if you use Fungal, but it's harder to get free, but very easy to get something like Tinker 2 with Fungal. The second smithing perk I want to talk about is Rapid 1 to 3. Heat is lost twice as fast with this perk, but progress is earned 5, 10 or 15% quicker. This is a flat out experience boost and a highly recommended perk whenever you're training smithing. When you think about it, progress links directly into your experience. So the faster you get your progress, the more experience you get. Not only does it make the item get crafted faster, it gives you that XP faster. Losing your heat twice as fast really doesn't matter too much, especially if you have superheat form because it kind of counteracts this effect. I definitely would say this is worth it. It makes it a bit less AFK, but the experience is 100% worth it. How do you obtain this perk? You need 5 shifting components if you want to go for a high chance at rapid 2 or 3. If you don't have shifting components and you want to go for a more budget route and maybe just go for rapid 2, you can get rapid 1 to 3 with enhancing components, but 3 is quite rare this way. The next and final smithing perk that I want to talk about is breakdown 1 to 5. Now this perk, it seems like there's a lot of text on screen, but it really isn't that complicated. The breakdown perk has a chance to give the same components that would be given for disassembling that item, but now the item remains intact. Before it used to be a 100% chance to break down the item you smith to get the components. Now it's just a chance of getting the components and you keep the item. The chance is quite low though. You've got a 0.8, 1.6, 2.4, 3.2 or 4% per bar used to create the item. But you gotta remember that because you use so many bars nowadays, you can actually get a very high percent or even 100% if you use a lot of bars to create the item. How do you obtain this perk? You can use 5 undead components, which is the best chance at breakdown 5, and it gives you anywhere between 2 and 5. If you want to go a bit more budget, you can use 5 heavy components and you can get breakdown 1 to 5, but it'll be hard to get more than 4. Lastly, but certainly not least, this is a perk that works for both mining and smithing, and you should always wear. This is Wise 1 to 3. Well equipped, even in an offhand, which I highly would recommend getting a shield or an enhanced Excalibur or something augmented with the Wise perk. You get a 1% increase per rank in additional experience, so this would be 1, 2 or 3% respectively. This caps out at 50,000 experience extra per day. As you can see on the table on screen, rank 1, if you have a 1% bonus, you need to get 5 million experience before you're capped for the day. 2% would be 2.5 million, 3% would be 1.66 million. So in smithing or mining, getting 1.66 million experience in a day isn't too hard at the higher levels, and you're going to get that extra 50,000 experience from that. If you want a guaranteed Wise 3 perk, you can use 5 Serum components. If you want to go a bit more budget, you can use Ethereal or Pious components, and they can give you anywhere from 1 to 3 in the ranks of Wise. But yeah, that's all there is to this video. Hopefully this helps you with deciding what perks you want. Personally, I would use both Honed and Furnace for mining and Tinker and Rapid for smithing. That way you would probably have the most optimal perks in my personal opinion. Give the video a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you're new for loads of future content all related to Runescape 3, and until next time, see ya.